Welcome back to Step by Step. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we show you how to get through a furniture makeover step by step. So I was driving along and I thought I saw a red Victorian settee on my left, and I was right. After I circled the block, it was a yard sale. So this is the best before picture I had. The springs were really coming out of it, so I did my best to repair it, ended up putting wood on it, but there's some other restoration that's going to be done. So first I cleaned it with white lightning, and I didn't want to saturate the entire piece like usual, so I didn't spray it. I sprayed the cloth that I used, just cleaning the wood part. And then, of course, I did spray it with water to rinse that residue. Now, I'm not going to be painting this woodwork. I'm just going to revive it, but it definitely needed cleaned. And it needs a little repair. I'm using Titebond Thick and Quick to glue this right side of this inset that wants to come loose. So I struggled with this a little bit. Titebond Thick and Quick is great because it really sets up quickly and holds it into place. But I was trying to clamp it and that just wasn't happening. There was no good place to clamp it with the size clamps that I had. So I ended up using some tape. So just, wiped off the excess glue. And like I said, I struggle with it. I'm trying to get a good angle with a clamp, and it just isn't happening. Finally got it clamped, but then I looked in the back, and it really wasn't holding it where I needed it to anyway. So, again, I just ended up using some tape, and it did the job, because really it just needed to be secured. So I end up adding a little more glue. After all my fooling around, I just want to make sure it's secure. Put it in place and get rid of the excess. And then just put some good old tape on there. I put it on the front and the back. And it ended up really doing the trick. Looks better already, even before the tape. Okay, now I have to decide what color paint. So I had a big decision to make because I wasn't sure whether I want to match it exactly or whether I wanted to pick another shade and kind of let the original shade poke through. The color of the fabric, it wasn't in bad shape, so now I'm removing the ones that are a little too orangey. And then I decided to take away the wine colored, and I'm left with barn red, and really, it's a great match. So I'm keeping it in its original color. But the seat, even though you can't really tell here, the seat is sort of, it had some stain or something had dropped on it. So we're just going to paint it. When you paint fabric, you want to spray it with water. So I'm using a mister bottle. It's a continuous mist spray. You don't want to use a sprayer like an old Windex bottle. You want to use a continuous mist sprayer, which you can get at beauty supply places. I might try to stock them here at the shop too. Dixie Belle has had them for sale different times. But at any rate, I also found that Dawn Power Wash comes in a continuous mist sprayer bottle, so I'm saving those bottles. But I'm just using the oval medium brush after the fabric is saturated and just spraying it and brushing the paint in. So you're kind of using the paint like a dye. I think it's a little different when you paint a fabric like this. It's sort of a velvet with a nap. But you just kind of have to really work it in the fabric. Now, I get asked questions a lot of times. Does it stay hard? That's one question. And the other one is, will it come off when you sit on it? So that one always makes me kind of chuckle a little bit because I think people aren't thinking that one through a whole lot. So I guess it's a natural question, but I'm not sure why they think I would take as much time as I do to paint it if it came off on people's clothes. So the answer to that one is no, it does not come off when you sit on it. Now, if you sat down on it when it was wet, then perhaps it might. The other question is it hard? And yes, it does get a little hard whenever you spray the paint or whenever you paint it and then it dries. But you'll see what happens when we go over it. So we paint it, and then once it dries, then we're actually going to sand in between coats. It's hard to believe, but yeah, we're going to take a sanding sponge and just sand the fabric to get it to be soft again. While my first coat's drying, I'm going to revive that wood. I'm using Big Mama's Butter in Orange Grove. It has an amazing smell, and I'm using a Best Dang brush to apply it. So I'm just taking it and using it on the wooden surfaces, and you're going to see how amazing this wood turns out. It just brightens it up. So I'm careful not to get any of it on the fabric because, well, I don't want it to get any spots on it, but it's doing a fantastic job on the wood. The first coat of paint on the fabric is dry, so I feel it's a little stiff, not too bad, but I'm just taking a sanding sponge and I'm just gonna go over the surface of the fabric and just use it to get rid of any hard paint. You'll be amazed how soft it is. And then it's on to the second coat. Same process all over again. The fabric does not absorb as much paint as it does on the first coat. This piece is going to go in my rustic bridal and event rentals. I think it's going to be really popular for the winter months, the fall and the winter. I can just see beautiful garnet flowers with it and all kinds of pretty things. But I think it'll be a welcome addition to the rentals. So I continue with the painting. If you have any questions about painting fabric or painting in general, feel free to comment below. And also, don't forget, if you're interested in purchasing Dixie Belle paints, just check the link in my description box. My affiliate link is there. So that means you order directly from Dixie Belle, and it doesn't cost you any more, but I make just a little bit on the sale. So there's the piece. It's all done. And I think it's just gorgeous. And I did sand a second time after the paint dried. But I'm really impressed with it. I think the wood is glowing, and I think the fabric just looks lustrous, and it's certainly in much better condition than it was when I found it. So I'm very happy with it. And I want to thank you so much for watching today. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company. On Instagram, we're lavintagedecor. And on Facebook, we're lavintagedecor Altoona. Stay well.